job, Tom. Thank you. Thank you. Well, now I actually get to start off today, especially after going about the room and meeting all of my old and new friends. I feel in a mood to do something a reporter, I think, asked me about the other day, because I got caught in one of those moments when you don't know the camera's on and you're horsing around. WGN caught me singing. And this became a subject of conversation. Another station approached and said, "Why don't you do a couple of numbers for us?" I did that after some persuasion, obviously. But a reporter asked me how long I'd been singing and all of this, and when it is that I feel tempted to burst into song. And I have to tell you, after going around this room and feeling the warmth and feeling the welcome that y'all have extended to me, this is one of those moments when I feel like bursting into song. So I took from Tom the wonderful excuse that today happens to be Joyce Saxon's birthday, right? And so as my first act today, I would like all of you to join me in a rousing rendition of that great old favorite, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Joyce. Happy birthday to you." Now, I also have to say that apart from the wonderful welcome I've gotten in the room here, I have felt a wonderful welcome from the people of Illinois, and especially from people all around Chicago as I have gone about my business here. And that has made me want to burst into a few lines from that other old wonderful song. You know it, right? All of you know that song? My kind of town Chicago is. My kind of town Chicago is. Yes, indeed. I have felt that bursting up in me for the last several days. Chicago is my kind of town. Illinois is my kind of state. And Illinoisans are my kind of people. But why is that? It's not only because of the warmth and friendliness and courtesy that I found in so many different quarters, whether people are agreeing or disagreeing. I have found that a lot of folks in this great city, in this great state, are people who are going to approach you in the spirit of the frontier that Illinois once was, a spirit that is open-hearted and open-handed and willing to judge you on the basis of what you can do and what kind of character you have, not where you were born and what your background is. And I think that is one of the great American characteristics that Illinois has represented down through our heritage. I think it also represents a deep commitment of heart to the great principles that are at the foundation of our whole way of life in this great country of ours. It's no accident, therefore, that our greatest statesman in terms of those principles, Abraham Lincoln, has lent his name to this great state of Illinois, the land of Lincoln. Now, some folks I know have been a little critical of me because since I stepped into the state, I have had near my heart and on my lips the great moral principles that are at the basis of this nation's founding, and I have talked about the great moral crisis that we are in and the issue of moral principle, abortion, that is at the heart of that crisis. And I have done so quite clearly and quite consciously. I want to let everybody know, because people are raising questions about this, and some people say he's just a one-issue candidate and so forth and so on. And I want to make perfectly clear that the Alan Keyes who is here today is the Alan Keyes who has been speaking out and working year after year and over the decades with people of good heart, and I will continue to do so. I will not hesitate. I will not vacillate. I will not equivocate. I will stand my ground, and we will all be heard. But part of the reason for that is because there is a fundamental importance to our American life and character, to our moral principles. And it's one that should be obvious when we look at our politics. After all, we're founded on the great belief that we are all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. I have wondered over time how we can pretend to be a people who could leave the name of God out of our public life when we have invoked the authority of God as the foundation of our public life. Can I say that over again slowly? I have wondered how we can be a people who would leave the name of God out of our public life when we are a people who invoked the name of God as the basis of our public life. I think that is a contradiction. So I think morality is important. I think it's primary. I think it's a priority if we are to maintain our American identity. But you know what folks don't often think about? They don't often realize that in the most practical sense possible, that same morality is the foundation of all our material success. All of it, without exception, I would say. And why would I say such a thing? We are preoccupied, as well we should be here in Illinois, with economic challenges. There is, I would have to tell you, an unequal distribution of opportunity as I am noticing it in this state. There's a lot going on. There are hardworking people, and they're taking care of their families and building futures. And then there are others who haven't quite caught up, and they don't have jobs, and they're worried about the future. And it is right that we should focus on the question of how we are going to make sure that opportunity is offered, that work is available, that hope is available to all the people of this state. But one of these days, I think, we're going to start to realize that when candidates get up and start talking about jobs, 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 and then you look at their record and every vote they have taken and every stand they have taken seems to be discouraging to business and to business opportunity and to business development, when are we going to stop being taken in? Without businesses, there can be no jobs. And so at the end of the day, we had better look at what it takes to create a successful environment for true job creation, to turn vacant lots in our neighborhood into places of business that will offer people the work they need to support their dignity, to support their families, to support their hopes and their lives. We have a special American way of doing that. And I have had over the course of the years lots of opportunities to think about that special American way, in contrast, by the way, with things that have been done in other countries, in the old Soviet Union, and countries that subscribe to communism and socialism. They think, as I'm afraid some of the folks who are engaging in our politics, they think that you promise people jobs and it'll come about because you have built up a bigger government and a more powerful government, a bigger bureaucracy and a more powerful bureaucracy. Are we supposed to act as if we have not learned the lessons of history from the 20th century? As a great nation, we stood in competition with nations that were founded on the notion that you offer hope and jobs to people by offering them government power and government domination. The states and nations founded on that misguided understanding are gone, and we are still here. Why on earth should we believe that an approach that failed egregiously again and again and again in every country where it has been tried is really the basis for offering jobs and hope to people in this state who have neither jobs nor hope? It's not going to happen.